Yeah. We gotta do this one for hip hop. Always keeping the culture alive.
Peace, love, and hip hop for life, everybody. It's DJ Ray Red from the original Breakout Brothers.
The Mellow LC.
And welcome to another episode of The Lost Underground.
Yeah.
Well, tonight, we got a special show. We're going to do a recap show of the episodes that you've seen so far for those who didn't see it and for those who just want to be reminded of how dope these episodes been.
Absolutely.
So we tape new episodes, and they're coming soon. So while we're doing that, we want to just recap these shows for you.
And make sure that everybody, we just want to say one thing, that we appreciate the love that we've been getting in the past, and we'd like y'all to still continue to share, like, and subscribe, and make sure that you let people know that maybe haven't seen the episodes, that haven't seen it, will come out, and get on and watch the shows, because we want everybody to know about the people that did not get the shine. That's why we call it the Lost Underground.
No doubt. Like we said, we got some real good shows coming up in the future. We're working on, we're taping, as we speak, on these different shows that we got coming up. So if it's a crew out there that we didn't get in touch with you yet, when we call you, better answer that phone, because we're going to be talking to you real soon.
Absolutely. We were just talking about a little while ago, Reverend. We were talking about the different groups that we know that came up either alongside of us or came up right behind us and didn't get any shine. Nova Crew, Lead Crew, G-Force, different people, even Fabulous. You're going to start reaching out to these guys so we can find maybe one or two members of these groups, because they deserve the shine too. Yes. So we want to, if you are out there and you see this, please let us know. Reach out to Rev or myself. You can reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, however you want. Reach out to us and let us know so we can get y'all on.
Peace.
So tonight we got two brothers who also have been elevating the culture throughout the years. My man Scott Foster, a.k.a. DJ A.
Oh, yeah, A.K. everything. A.K.A. Fries from Hackensack. Yeah.
Got my man. On the streets, we call him Booty. You know what I mean? But his name is Briggs. MC Briggs. You know what I'm saying? These cats also, like I said, help contribute to the whole culture. You know what I mean? They've been not only just hip-hop connoisseurs, but they participated in, so many things. MC Booty or Brig.
Producer,
you know what I mean? So, today, we want to talk about the foundation, the connection between the New York to North Jersey and how deep it is. Some people don't really know the true essence of how deep this connection is. So that's what we want to talk about first. Before we even talk about the music, we want to talk about that, you know what I mean? Because one thing for sure, in this area, everything it's so much different than what it is now. You know what I mean? To look at Bergen County, to look at North Jersey, the way it is now, is so much different than when I first moved here back in the late 60s. So we're going to talk about that whole connection. A lot of people don't really know how deep it is. So, Fries, man, you and I have spoke on this a few times, but we want to educate the people, man. We want to drop a little knowledge on that whole foundation, that whole connection from New York to Hackensack, as Eric Sherman said.
Well, it's funny, just driving down here, and I looked, and I said, 230 Central Avenue. What is it called now? What was the name?
Ostrowski Court.
Ostrowski Court.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm seeing the basketball courts on the side. I'm seeing Geno Wiggins and them doing God knows what, playing basketball. And I'm like, wow, things have changed. Yeah. But, what I want to start with is that what you see now, we like to call it gentrification. I like to call it more bang for your buck. It doesn't always salute the community that was there before. Exactly. But Hackensack has a deep rooted with, black excellence, or like what they say now, or FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, right?
Yes, yeah.
To the point where just from a business standpoint, from a culture standpoint, from basically from wow, maybe Fair Street all the way up to Passaic Street.
Yes.
And in between,
Right.
black-owned businesses.
True.
Yeah.
Black-owned people taking care of each other.
Right.
Summertime, we're in the park. Sissies making sure we're eating lunch.
Saying grace
These
before.
are-
Saying
yeah.
grace before.
Yeah.
Right.
These are, having little, arts and crafts, playing basketball, kickball, whatever, ice cream, live music coming into the park or what have you. And it's like, wow, that seemed like years away, So I'll just, and please y'all chime in.
Right.
But to just talk about some of the black-owned businesses that were on First Street. We had Joe's Texaco,
Yes.
black-owned
Gas
station
And mechanic shop.
fix-it station, mechanic shop to
Yeah.
take your cars to.
Right.
And then you go right up the street. Then there's Manning's Barbershop.
Yeah.
Across the
Sportsman.
street from Manning's Barbershop is Tapper's Drugstore.
Mm-hmm.
Make a right, and then you have Leon's Lounge, right? Leon's Lounge, famous in the 60s and 70s for having people such as Red Fox, Billy Eckstein, Dinah Washington, Billie Holiday.
Yes.
All
as well
came
as
through.
All type of activity going on in the back, And Leon being part owner of Small's Paradise on Lenox Avenue, which, if you know anything about that.
Right.
And then, and then keep going. You've got Charles His and Hers.
H&R's.
H&R's drugstore.
Lucy's up the block.
Lucy's further up the block. And before you even get to Lucy, you've got
Chris's Barbershop.
the
Columbus.
Columbus Barbershop. And you got my man across the street who was selling the records.
Oh yeah, the record
the
store.
velvet
The record
posters.
store. Yes.
Right.
I got that Bruce Lee poster from there.
Well, I got my first Parliament album,
Right.
And it was so to show you how they always say, oh well, that black dollar leaves the community, right after. No,
Not then.
that was a
Not
one-stop
then.
shop of you, and not to mention, kind of he wasn't black. But I was saying black oriented Sam's Crasdale, who hired all black people.
He
So
sure
you
did.
went there, you needed to, like, if you needed real groceries, then okay, you went to Super Savers and all that up there. But you needed something quick. Oh yeah, go buy me some, give me whatever.
Right.
You go there. So it's like, to make a long story short, it was a economic force to be dealt with that was black owned, and even the underground of that numbers running
Right.
was black community.
Yes, it
So
was.
it wasn't like, okay, I knew the local numbers runner,
Right.
and you still, hey, come on, I'm gonna buy you all some ice cream. Oh, you go here, take this, go to H&R, get yourself some of them lemon cookies and some of them violet
dollar
candies.
cookies. Them dollar cookies. Yes.
Right. So
Or Swedish
and it was
fish.
and it was a respect because because we had thugs, we had people
All of that.
doing dope, but it's like, oh,
They kept it away from
that's
us.
Mrs. Leak.
Yeah.
With her shopping cart.
Right.
Put them dice away. That CeeLo game stop, that blunt get hidden by your hand, that whatever you had in that brown paper bag.
Right.
Yeah. But go
And
ahead.
everybody
Reverend
spoken was
said,
respectful.
Reverend Knox will come out, come out of the church, and he'll take that walk through the park. That game was stopped. You know what I mean? That crap game was stopped. And everybody would go back to it once he leave. But there was that respect. Everybody had that respect.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I just want to pick back on what you were saying about Leon's and that whole connection between him being a co-owner of Small's Paradise in Harlem.
Right.
And then you had the same acts that was performing over there was performing over in Hackensack.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was really big. When this man passed away, you had Red Fox and all these people coming to the funeral because he was such a
Icon.
You know what I mean? So that was the beginning, I think, of that whole musical
That
thing.
Renaissance era.
Yeah. You know, from back in the 60s. You know what I mean? Long before hip hop even came around.
Way before hip hop.
Yeah, we had already had a connection with Harlem.
He gave us a foundation.
It gave us the foundation.
Well, I mean, if you want to really put things into perspective, a lot of those Harlem, quote unquote, gangsters,
Yes.
Frank Lucas, Nicky
Yeah.
Barnes, all of them.
Right.
Moved over to
Frank
Bergen
Lucas
County.
lived right up on Prospect Avenue in the house where
Yes, he did.
Melissa,
Yes.
what's Melissa's? I can't. I'm
Smith?
losing it. Yeah, she was cool with the Marshalls, with Bobby Marshall and them. They were kind of. I don't know if they were related, but that one house that's on Prospect Avenue,
Right.
not around the corner from where you
You
live.
live right.
And it was funny that when they bought that house, they had found a little bullet holes in the wall, probably for when the drug
Right.
DEA
Right.
ran into them. But
Right.
what I'm getting at is that a lot of those Harlem gangsters
Right.
migrated out right
Oh,
over
they
to
migrated?
Inglewood,
Absolutely.
Teaneck. That's how
Absolutely.
you had.
They said,
how these black
Yeah.
people got
Right.
these homes with these basements, and
Yeah.
a lot of them
Right.
come from out of New York.
Right.
Mickey
right.
Barnes, if I'm not mistaken, one of them had a house over in Teaneck.
Yes,
That was Frank
yes.
Lucas.
That was Frank
No,
Lucas.
no, no,
Frank
no,
Lucas.
no, no. He's right.
It was
Frank
Mickey.
Lucas had in Teaneck, but his main it was a stash house as well as lived in Prospect Avenue.
In Prospect
but Nicky
Avenue.
Barnes
Right.
also
Yes.
Right.
had that house.
Right.
And in fact, as quiet as kept, I believe Pee Wee Kirkland used to mention his name. Frank
Matthews.
Matthews
Matthews.
also had some property in
Who
Inglewood.
Black Caesar was based on.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who still ain't found, you know.
Right,
I
right,
think
right.
probably
His day.
somewhere in Cuba having a
Right.
nice cigar,
Right.
chilling on the beach. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, and we ain't glorifying that, but we're
No.
telling you that
Where it came
there
from.
Where it
was
came
a
from.
culture here
Yes.
Right.
before the quote unquote hip hop
Hip-hop,
right.
as we know
Right,
it today.
absolutely.
Because
Right.
the whole story is, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, Cool Herc's sister throws a party,
Right.
going back to school for some
Like nobody
money for
did a street
clothes,
party
and
before
that's
that.
just-
That's-
and here we go, and that's
Right,
what
right,
it is.
right.
That is the
no.
part that gets me. Y'all don't mind me saying. That's the thing that gets me. It's like nothing. It seems to me that all of these documentaries, they want to say nothing was
Existed
happening.
before that.
Existed. Thank you, bro. Nothing existed before this rec party, which I know is not true.
Right.
Now y'all can chime in on that. It's
Right.
not true. Things were happening. Who was the cats that was the older cats that was DJing before?
All right.
DJ
Well,
Flowers in them.
Not Flowers. Over in Hackensack.
Oh, in this area, Bergen County. Well,
Oh.
in Inglewood, you had DJ Soul.
Okay,
Soul,
Yeah,
yeah,
Cookie.
Soul, yes.
He's
And over here, you had
Who's your Hackensack?
Billy Atkins.
Billy Atkins.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
partner.
Exactly.
And his partner, AJ Savage. You know what I
Okay.
mean? They was the older cats that was doing it, you know, pre all this hip
All
hop
of
or
this.
whatever you want to call it.
And let's go even. Well, we really gonna go. I hope. I don't know how much time we got, but let's talk about the R&B aspect, which is a
Yes.
direct link to hip hop.
Right.
So you
Right,
got Filet
right.
of Soul.
Filet of
Right,
Soul.
Filet
Yes.
of Soul,
And then you
right.
got Jimmy Blackford and them in their basement.
Right,
God rest
right.
his soul.
Live right around
Stanley
the corner.
Yes.
passed away a
Sure,
few
sure.
years back.
Right.
I used to sit there, man, like I was looking to wait to break in the basement and just sit there.
Yeah, I used to hear.
And I was
used
hearing,
to hear
you know,
drums
Right.
every
you
day.
hear
I
them
live
funk
right- I
rhythms, you
get
like,
back to him.
okay,
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
and you get inspired from. I mean, I kid you not. When I did that beat for "Give It Up," right? I had
Right.
Amen Brothers and I had the UFO loop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People was like, "Oh yeah, you got that from the Amen Brothers." I said, "No, that Amen Brothers reminded me of Jimmy Blackfoot
For
playing."
playing the drums.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And I heard that, and that was the closest thing I could
Right.
get.
Right.
Because back then, I'm like, I didn't even have a sampler. We
Right.
weren't
Right,
even
right.
sampling.
Right.
Let's
Exactly.
record that on quarter-inch reel and had the piece of tape with a piece of pencil
Right.
and letting it go back and forth
forth.
like that and record on a
And
quarter-inch
record.
and then dumped it to the 2-inch
Right,
tape.
right.
So, you know, but that comes back from me listening to
But you know what
Jimmy
was-
Blackfoot.
Right.
What was unique about that too, and I have to give it to him. What was unique, and everybody caught it. The song was good. The song was great, but that Michael Jackson killed it.
Listen,
That I'll
listen,
Be
anybody
There
knew
murdered it.
I-
Oh,
It
for
was so
Hard to the
good.
Core?
Yeah,
For Hard
from
to the Core, yeah.
From Hard to the Core.
Listen, my aunt, Claudia.
Claudia, yep.
Claudia took me to see. Listen. If right now you would have called Child Protective Services. I was 2.5, and I saw the Jackson 5 at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
Right,
same
right.
here. I've seen it
I
too.
still can remember sitting up in the lower mezzanine, and we were on the side where Jermaine was playing the bass. And the only thing I remember from that concert is him singing "I Found That Girl."
Right,
But I've
right.
been a fanatic from then.
Right,
So
right.
when I first like make a record,
Yeah.
because if you listen, what I scratched with it had nothing to do with the song. It wasn't related in no way.
But
Guys
that
talking
was
about,
the
I'm
beauty of
addicted
it,
to
though.
the
It
funk.
still
Call
fit.
me
It still
junk.
fit.
It
Still fit.
Nobody
I'm like,
expected that.
I'll reach out my hand to you from I'll Be There. It's
Right,
like,
right.
I just was like, that's just me in my bedroom playing piano jam and listening to it. And just, I'm like, I was Jackson 5 fanatic.
Yeah,
right,
you
right.
did
Yeah.
sample a
You
lot
really
of the
did.
Jackson
Oh
Yeah,
my
5.
you did.
God!
You
Every
did.
chance I listen, I
did.
couldn't get away with it now because
No,
that Joe
sample clearances
that
cost
that
too
Joe
much.
Bit
Right,
publishing boy.
Yeah. Red will tell you that. These
Yeah.
people,
To get you.
They don't play
But you
when
know
it
what?
comes to that.
Let me. So this is a good transition. So let's go back to we had the R&B, we had the black-owned culture. We've few night spots on Main Street where
Right,
actually
right,
Jimi Hendrix played.
Uh-huh.
Actually, Kool and the Gang actually recorded an underground album at a jazz club in Hackensack.
Right.
So the only person I seen with it, believe it or not, was Primo, DJ Premier. And I tried to beat him out of it. But yeah. So let's talk about our foundation of hip hop, New Jersey. Now I don't want to disrespect anybody because I'm going to come out of left field already.
Don't
Right,
speak.
right, right.
I don't want to hear
That's why he wanted to
nothing
speak.
out of Newark, East Orange.
Patterson.
Nope. Well, I'll say Patterson for a minute.
Right, right.
But from what we know,
Right.
because a lot of like people like, oh yeah, Illtown, Brick City.
Right.
No, that was club music. That
Right.
was house
Absolutely.
music, club
Right.
music.
Absolutely.
Which was a kind of a ripoff from Chicago, who started the house scene.
Right.
Exactly.
Borrowing off of, Larry Levan and them and Ecstasy Garage and all that. But
Right.
never mind all that. When it was funny, I remember being on my porch on 2nd Street, and a Oldsmobile 98 comes rolling by, and I'm like, I'm thinking as I must have been in Jesus, I had to be in about maybe the 5th grade. And I said, damn, there's a lot of people in that car. It almost looked like a clown car, like from Ringling Brothers, right?
yeah.
Damn, a seatbelt. Like, it was just packed. And they stopped right in front of my house and it's like, yo, little man here. And I go to the car and my mother, she's looking out the window, like, what are you grown man you talking to?
Right, right.
Flash, Furious 5.
Oh, okay.
Handing out a flyer because they were doing a party in McKay Park in Inglewood.
Yes.
Sylvia was giving this free thing. Don't know why they were throwing out. I don't know. It's like, but
Right.
just to bring it back to where I'm going.
Okay.
They said, yeah, we're gonna be here. Such gonna be there. First thing out my mouth, I said, are the Breakout Brothers gonna be there? They looking at me like, huh? I start running the names. Grand Wizard Star Child, the Mellow LC, Revy Rap. Those are my heroes.
Right, right.
D-Light, not
no
even Supreme
disrespect,
Jazzy
but
did.
this is at the time. I mean, Rapper's Delight might have been out maybe 5 months. That's how far I'm going back
Right,
with
right.
this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
who is, I don't really, I didn't really know.
Right.
I hadn't heard of it like that. I said,
Right.
I know who I see. I
Right.
remember, this is what's funny. Probably about 3 weeks before that, but to show you how influential something can be, I'm on the corner, because Ivan lived on the corner of 2nd
And
Right.
Clay.
Right.
I'm out there. He got on punishment. He can't come outside. It's rain. It's a little drizzling. And I'm like, I'm sitting out there. I see LC. I'm like, he don't look like he's from around here,
Right.
but he had a radio, right? I just don't even remember what kind, but he was
Probably
playing
JVC.
Fantastic Five.
Yeah.
And you came walking up 2nd Street this way. So I had thought I had died. Like I had saw Jesus and Moses right at the same spot as it related to music. I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, because I had only heard about y'all. I had only heard.
Right.
But when I saw you, I knew exactly who. I said, oh shit, see, that's Rev. That's Rev. You know, I'm like, so my cousin, rest his soul, Bobby Callis,
Right, Bobby Calvin.
he's like, oh yeah, he's schooling me. Like, yeah, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, I'm actually saying, oh, they're gonna play, like me being naive.
Right.
Oh, they're gonna just play right here in the rain in the park. There's like 5 people in the park. I'm just not even saying, oh, they getting ready to. So I'm
Right.
standing out there for the longest.
Right, wow.
And I'm like, damn. And of course, y'all want leaving. And I'm like, my mother's like, get your ass back in the house. But that's how. And I went to school, and it was funny. I went to school like, yo, I met LC and Rebby Rev of the Breakout Brothers. I'm telling this to white kids.
Wow.
They looking at me like, who the hell you? What? They talking to me about who they listening to.
Right.
Deep Purple.
Right.
Some of the old rock groups.
Right.
Right.
Kids, I'm talking about the Breakout Brothers. Like,
Right,
that's my influence.
right.
Because when I got my hand on y'all's, oh, God, Jesus. Boy, I almost had a stroke. I got a copy of y'all's tape from Kev. And, man, I played that so much that it literally, like, my mother just was tired of it. But the funny thing that y'all is going to blow your mind. My father, right? Now, my father he's so anti-electronic or anything, right? I want to hear Bobby Blue Bland. That's who I want to hear.
Exactly.
Do you realize my brother, who I tell you, he knew your routines more than
Man.
anybody.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
One day, me and
you
my
did.
father are in the car, and I put my hand to God on this. We're going down to New Jersey. I don't know where we were going. And, no, we was driving us to Elizabeth, Twin City Roller Rink. My father is humming. He don't know the words fully, but he hears my brother always going hard in the paint about it, and he's saying, my name is LC, and I rock to the funky beat, and don't you know that?
Not even
that.
Luther's version.
Right,
Not even Luther's version.
Luther's version.
Wow.
Because Harry used to emphasize, he used to be like, don't you know that?
Everybody.
Don't you know? Like, it was,
Yeah.
it was.
But see,
That's the only
religious,
thing.
That's the thing. That's the thing we want to hit on. That's the thing we want to hit on.
Oh, my God.
People do not realize what we were doing. You know, everybody was talking about, like you brought up Cedric and in the Bronx and things like that. Nabu. We're going to get on this. What was going on before the Rappers to Life? No disrespect to Rappers to Life.
No.
Okay? But you cannot deny that we were on the streets planting a seed. We planted a seed. You can't have something grow unless you plant a seed. Okay?
Now, can I just throw one part in?
Go ahead.
Now, my first experience seeing a live, I mean, I heard tapes, but my first experience seeing a live hip hop performance, ironically, was his brother's 13th birthday party. Because that was DJ'd by Phase 2, which was Kevin Cook and Master G
Master G.
from Sugar Hill.
Okay. Right.
Kevin was on the turntables.
Right.
Master G was emceeing the whole night.
Right.
So I'm sitting here looking at it, and then like it's one thing to hear the record, but just to feel the energy in the room. That's why I tell people you don't know hip hop if you ain't been to a performance.
Right.
I don't care what kind of records you listen to. If you have not been to a performance, you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience with it. But go ahead and finish what you
No,
were
I
saying.
just wanted y'all to chime in on, you know, when people talk about hip hop, you know, okay, you hear about, you know, the Bronx and da. But the thing was that we were already on the street doing it. We put in the work. Someone had to put in the work. Equipment, records, being gone for 2 days and whatnot, doing this, doing that, and Jasmine Mel can identify with this. We were trying to get into all these places, and this was before the rap record. Like Sugar Hill and Rappers like, but who was doing work? There had to be somewhere else for you to see this. And I need y'all to, you know, to talk about that because this is what it is.
Real quick, I just want to say, we recognize New York was the Mecca. True. And everything was created
Absolutely.
in New York.
Yeah.
But we saying that just like you might have heard the story on the news Monday, by Wednesday.
It's a whole different thing.
Because you got to remember, we was all listening to the same radio stations.
True.
We was all fans of Funkadelic.
True.
You know what I mean? You had a choice. It was either R&B, funk, or disco.
That was it.
You know what I mean? And so that's where it all came from. And you mentioned Kool and the Gang, and we can't mention Kool and the Gang without JT from Hackensack.
Yes.
Start off with Filet of Soul.
Filet of Soul.
Yeah.
Filet of
So
Soul.
that connection was always there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so
Steve White on the drums.
Steve White. Oh my God. Steve White on the drums. You know what I mean?
It goes deep.
Yeah, it's deep.
Black
Goes
Bethea
deep.
on bass.
Yes. Yes.
And then what's his name? Doc Russell subbing in every now and then.
Yeah. Too sweet.
Too
sweet. Rest in peace, Too Sweet.
Another Bergen County Hackensack
Rest in
legend.
peace, Too Sweet.
Legend. Was not ashamed to
Doc
do anything.
Russell.
No.
Yes.
Who lived down the block from where we at right now.
Right.
That's the original hustler.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's
He
the
been
original
alive now, He would
bluegrass.
have had a podcast.
Yep.
That's right. That's
He
right.
would have had a recording studio. and all types.
Exactly.
Yeah,
a
but
lot
like
of people.
Original grassroots movement
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, exactly.
That's right.
It's it bothers me sometimes. That's why I don't talk hip hop with Ted, Kay. I talk to them after 1991, 92.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a certain few people I talk about hip hop. We from
But there's only a certain people-
77
Right.
to
That's what I mean.
82.
Right.
It's like no,
Yeah, you can't say.
that's-
Well, you can't have them conversations
Yeah,
with
that's-
everybody. They don't know
right.
enough.
Here's a question for y'all. They said the actual date, okay, hip hop was supposed to be born in 1975.
Or 73.
Now, but some people say in Bronxdale, they want to say 73. So how do this is why I'm saying how do you determine a date?
But see, you know what it is? I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the participants in that particular situation experience some level of commercial success where a lot of people from other areas didn't experience it as much. So they got to tell their story time and time again. So if you keep hearing that story,
Right.
it's going to register in your mind
Right,
like that's
right.
where it started.
That's
It's
right,
like, for
right.
instance, we could talk about the trinity of Grandmaster Caz, Kool Moe D, and Melly Mel, but who talks about Johnny Warren Rayvon,
Right.
who came
That's what
before
I'm just
them?
talking about.
Who influenced them?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You know
Now
what I'm
they
saying?
said
They didn't get the commercial success
they
that the
didn't.
three we
Right.
talking
That's
about.
right.
So a
Right.
lot of people be like, "Well, who was that?"
That's right.
It's important to let that history be known.
right.
That's
Well, so we
Yeah.
appreciate
Absolutely.
everything, man.
Definitely, and you was, as I said, you were some of the cats that we kind of, looked up to as well in this hip hop game. Wanted to, for sure.
Appreciate that.
You want to take it, Walt? With
Well,
terms of
Passaic,
sake?
Passaic, we always, Passaic was always there doing it, city, man. It was getting done, we was doing it, man. It was a small town,
Right.
but we always had something going on in the small town. So it started out like we're doing it in the park. I don't
Yep.
even know what year that started. I was probably too young to remember the year it
Right,
came
mid
out.
70s.
Mid- yeah,
Mid 70s.
Right.
We just know that every summertime that we was always the place to be Friday and Saturday was in the park. Downtown one day and the uptown the next day,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you used to have it wasn't like it wasn't like hip hop back then. It was just like just music and
Right,
they had
right.
food and somewhere
Right.
to go,
Right.
We was
Definitely.
grinding. We was grinding.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
You came out with
Right.
you came out with the clothing style, everybody had a different style and everything like that, different dances and
Right.
different music, the
Right.
freak,
Yeah.
the body rock,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, for certain. Yeah, a beautiful town, man. A beautiful city. Multicultural city for the most part. Black folks pretty much throughout the city.
Right.
Families, large families, various large families within the particular city. Many of our parents that grew up there knew each other. Of course, like most black folks, migrants from the South, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, and those particular places.
Right.
And many of them would migrate up, and this is one of those stopping points. And then you just kind of raise a family.
Right.
I know my parents have been here, were in the city since probably around I would say the 1920s. My dad was born in 1924, my mom in 1926.
Wow.
My dad was born in Georgia, but my grandfather came up first.
Right.
Right.
And then, it was one of those things, grandpa come up first, get a
Right.
job, and then
Right.
everybody else
Right.
kind of come along. So, yeah, absolutely. And there were many families that, like, many of my friends are folks our parents were friends
Right.
or somehow connected.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so one of those cities.
I always say if you one of the old families, our bloodline connects somewhere, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
You know, it crosses somewhere. You know,
Right.
somebody in my family married somebody in your family, and
Right.
you know,
Right.
'cause that's how it was. You know, it's like a painting place, man. You know,
Right, exactly, yeah, for
bloodline
sure.
crosses
So
somewhere.
it was a tight connection.
Yeah, it was very tight.
Definitely real
Yeah.
tight, yeah.
Especially
yeah.
especially if you grew up in the projects.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
I always say,
I know a little something about them projects.
Yeah, right.
I know
Me
I always
too.
say-
Shout
always
out
say
to
when you-
Harlem. Me too.
Absolutely,
If
yeah,
you
for
lived in the
sure.
projects, you ain't had to have no babysitter because your
Right.
kids outside.
Absolutely.
Everybody
Right.
look out for the
Absolutely.
kids,
Everybody
man. You know
look
what I'm saying?
Absolutely, you did.
Right.
So
Right.
you know, it was.
I came to New Jersey in 1976.
Okay.
My mother brought me from North Carolina.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when I got to Passaic, it was predominantly black. You know what I'm saying? It was moving. It was growing. You know what I'm saying? And then I, I missed the South when I first got here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I adapt to it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that'll
right,
quickly
right,
I
right.
change.
adapt,
That'll
adapt
quickly
to it,
change.
man. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
I went to school, met some of the fellas. You know what I'm saying? So that was my start.
Right.
I'm not gonna say it was predominantly black, but when you're growing up and you a young black man, that's all you see. You know,
Right,
there's
right, right.
probably other races that walk past you and everything like that, but you don't see that.
But in your connection,
connection,
with your
that's what we saw.
daily connection,
Yeah,
it
right,
was a strong black
Right.
Yeah,
That's what we
definitely.
saw, but
Okay.
not
Foundation.
You know,
It's a little
yeah.
different now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's why he was speaking on before,
Right.
doing it in the park.
Right.
Right.
Every year
Right.
we go to the number 11 school park.
Okay.
And you get to be around everybody that you was around back in
Right.
that time, because everybody lives somewhere else now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's our way of bringing the community
You
back.
True.
July 20th,
Okay.
every year,
Right.
do it in the park.
Right. And
Right,
y'all said
yeah.
this originally started back in the 70s?
I would say I said mid, but probably closer to mid to late 70s, doing in the
Right,
park.
right.
With shout out to Bobby Thomas,
Yeah,
who was probably
yeah,
one of the
definitely
earlier
shout him
ones.
out.
But like
Okay.
you were mentioning off mic before, certain people get the credit for starting various things, but there's always a whole bunch of nameless
Right.
folks that are responsible
Right.
for putting various things together. Yeah.
True.
Now, that's what we wanted to talk about.
Right.
For you guys, like there may have been somebody that started like Red would talk about the DJs that were playing, like when we finally came together. Now for Vice Squad, who was it that maybe inspired y'all to come together
in your town? Like
In
maybe
your
like you
town.
had, like 'cause you said you came to this event every year. It was different guys that was probably playing music and stuff. Do
Right.
y'all recall?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I would say, because I was thinking about that on the way here. There were a few. Like I would think of on the microphone. I would think of Arthur Boogeyman Henderson.
yeah.
Shout out,
God bless
would
the
be
dead. God bless
someone
the
like
dead,
that.
man.
God
Your
bless the
brother
dead.
just passed away,
And I would
yeah.
think of people like a Michael Goins, brother Amby. I forget what his last name was.
Dow Miller.
Darryl Miller. Yeah, right, brother.
Dow Brown, I meant to say.
Well, Darryl Brown, but then also Darryl Miller,
Miller.
and there were many others that were ultimately like that were kind of doing it.
Okay.
I know Walt and we would go to the community center.
Right.
Okay.
And then I think Michael Goins used to do a lot of that there. And so that's kind of like we were probably like in the 7th or 8th grade when we would kind of meet up, go to the community center. It was interesting because we were talking about the NBA. At that time, NBA games would come on like about 11 o'clock at night.
11:30.
So we would go to the community center. We would young bucks there, get our little bean pie, hold the bean pie until we got home, put a little butter on that thing, right? Heat it up and go and watch the Lakers play.
Yeah, 'cause there wasn't no microwave. You had to put everything in the oven.
Everything in the oven, right? No microwaves, right?
Don't put it in the oven.
Well, they existed. We ain't had one.
Right, right.
So that was the thing. So those were kind of like the people. And then when we talk about this hip hop game, in terms of that inspiration, I just remember the summer. I call it the summer of sound on sound.
Right.
They came. I don't know who brought them there. They came, and you got Ron the mixer, and I was interested in the DJing aspect.
Right,
and I would just stand, and it's funny because I used to wonder when I DJ'd, why are these young kids standing right at the table watching everything that I do? But I was doing the same thing with Ron. I would just stand there, and I'm just watching this brother spin, and I was fascinated by it. But then I remember I was a freshman when Rapper's Delight came out. I remember this distinctly. Shout out to Record City.
Okay.
Joseph Hunter. You know, God bless the dead too. I remember going to his store and saying, okay, the UPS man comes about 12:30. I'm in high school at that time. And I said, you got to get there. And LC mentioned this about grabbing up the records before everybody else gets them. So I knew the UPS man would come about 1 o'clock. And I wanted to get that Rapper's Delight. And so at that time, you could say you were sick, go to the nurse's office, they would allow you to walk home. No parent had to pick you up. So right away, man, I'm 12:30 in the nurse's office. I play this thing sweet. I'm walking from the high school, and as soon as I get to Record City, boom, the box of records drop. Open it up, get my copy of Rapper's Delight on my way home. And, you know, from there, that was kind of like it. As Walter mentioned, you know, see sound on sound now, instead of breaking up, you know, you try DJing, you're using the record players that are at your house. I don't know if you've had one of these, but my parents had the record player that was kind of like this big old thing, had the record player, the speakers on the side, and you trying to, you know, of course you can't do what Ron the Mass Mixer is doing, because a component set, And so then I started out with that, then I would get some old record players, and you still can't spin because you realize that those are special needles, and then that's what Walt said. Then you go, man, let's just go get some sets, get some money, get you a well, not yet, no, not yet. That took
the 1200s hadn't got on the scene.
No 1200s. And then when they came out, I couldn't afford them, you know. So it was just a regular record player to whatever the techniques were at that time. You know, you had the they had the
SLD ones, SLB
ones,
we ourselves we started with what was they start with an R. I mean, they were wooden bass turns.
Wow.
I mean, wooden bass.
See, he told me his story was a little different. I remember when Sound on Sound came. He, you know, there's always somebody in the crew that get anything they want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Sound on Sound came, and we was just fascinated, man. Next day, you know, we run into the military store, you know, because his father was in the military, and he getting all the equipment and everything, you know what I'm saying? So we started out with like 100 DJs. We just had to, because everybody just started coming down to the basement. I just couldn't, you know, it was all about the DJ then.
Right.
But I just couldn't get the groove, man. I just said, all right, I just be a part of the crew, man. You know So it went from like 6 DJs, his cousin Lawrence, and down to like 3.
Peace, love, and hip hop for life, everybody. It's DJ Rebby Reb from the original Breakout Brothers, and I got my partner, the Mellow LC.
Greetings, all greetings.
Yo, we just want to welcome you all to another exciting episode of The Lost Underground, the untold story of hip-hop unsung. And tonight we got a group from Patterson, New Jersey, who was really doing their thing back in the day, Crushalizing 3/Playboys. Yeah. So we want to welcome them all here today. You know what I mean? I know these brothers for a long time, and like, you know, when you meet brothers in this game, you become like family. You know, so I want these brothers to introduce themselves individually so y'all can get to know who they were and what they played, what their part in the game was. So,
I'm Divine DC.
All right.
From the Crushalizing 3/Playboy crew.
All right. And what was your job in the group?
Rock the mic.
All right.
Make sure the people stay on point and partying and enjoying the music. And one of my main thing that I love was every single time I bust a verse, people used to go back home and try to top that verse. So I had personally, they loved me.
Right.
But hip-hop wise, I was their enemy.
Oh, you was a competition.
Right. Right. And I ain't gonna call no names, but today we got some people that ran into me and be like, D, man, I just gotta tell you something. I'll be like, yo, what's up? Man, back in the days, I just couldn't stand you. I said, yo, but I was a good person.
Right.
So nah, it wasn't that. It was that when you grabbed that mic and you said what you had to say, I had to go back home and 2 or 3 hours trying to top you.
Right.
Then by the time I came back and think, yeah, I got him now, you got some new stuff popping off. So yeah, that was me, Divine DC.
Divine DC. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And next to you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm High Power Junie June. That was my name in the group. I'm from Playboy Crew, and I'm from the Crushalizing 3 MCs.
All right.
And my job, I was an MC.
Okay. All right.
All right, my name is DJ Dollar Rob. I was the one and only DJ for the Crushalizing 3. Also, I DJ for the Playboy Crew also. That's it for now for me.
Yeah. So now, we got the Crushalizing 3 / Playboy Crew. So what members was actually in both of the groups? Or what members are not here tonight that we'd like to acknowledge?
Well, I'm the only member here that was in both groups. Okay. And Playboy Crew was established first. Mm-hmm. It was me. Well, it was a bunch of us. There's too many of them for me to name. But there was a brother that was in Playboy Crew who's not here. That's Casanova J.
Okay,
and he left Playboy Crew, and then he formed the crew with Magnificent and Rob. And then later on, they called me to join their group. So I left Playboy Crew, and I joined Crushalizing 3 MCs.
Okay. So what were some of the other members that was... Can you name some of the members that was in Playboy Crew with you?
Oh, well, there was my brother, they called Sweet G.
Sweet G.
We had a King Tim. We had our DJ was Dollar Rob and Master V.
Okay.
We had Perry, who we called Sweet P.
Okay.
Jimmy, we called Zodiac.
All right.
I mean, Playboy Crew was more like, it was a gang, but not that kind of gang there is today, because it was a lot of us.
Right. All right, and so then you said CJ was in the group with you, or he started Crushalizing?
Yes. I mean, I don't know who started it.
Okay.
Was it Rob, DC, or CJ?
Right.
But I know CJ, he was in Playboy Crew with me first.
Right.
And then he left Playboy Crew.
Right.
And then Rob and DC and CJ, they formed Crushalizing. Well, I don't know if it was Crushalizing 3 MCs because I was not with them yet.
Oh, okay.
I left later on, and then I joined them.
Right.
And then we became Crushalizing 3 MCs.
Right.
At first, it was just Crushalizing.
Crushalizing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when June came,
Right. Then it was Crushalizing 3.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So now, what Patterson? First of all, let's take it back. Let's roll it back. Patterson, like one of the biggest towns in Jersey. Right, about third or fourth biggest town in Jersey. What was life growing up in Patterson? What was that like?
Oh, beautiful.
It was beautiful?
Yeah.
Well,
back in those days, what I love about it, and that's what one of the things that made me start doing rhyming and hip hop was a 5% Nation.
Okay.
And that's where the Divine DC came in on.
Okay.
And a whole lot of people, they I also got a joke to tell y'all too. A whole lot of people just knew me as DC.
Right.
They didn't know that DC meant divine culture.
Right.
So back in those days, it was beautiful being a 5%.
Yes.
Which I am still a 5%.
Okay.
So
peace to the gods.
Right. So that's what made me got into it.
Right. Okay. Cool. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I became the DJ only because me and DC are brothers, like actual brothers.
Okay.
I know we don't look nothing like people say that all the time.
And I was really surprised when I first found out back in the day. I was like, wow, that's your brother? Yeah,
so he was the MC and we lived together, so he needed a DJ.
Right.
So of course, I started just like all the other DJs with the big old record player, like y'all was talking about in the episode,
Right.
with the TV and everything inside. And
Right.
so we had one of those, and then we had another record player. We would put that next to it, and then we just
there you go.
we graduated up from there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
now-
But did you have anybody who you would say who influenced you, or someone you might have seen that say, "Wow, that's what I want to do"? Was there any other DJs before you that maybe influenced you?
Well, the Playboy crew,
Okay.
Calvin and Peasky. When I used to come to the parties, there's a place called 104 Graham Ave.
Okay.
And they had the equipment in the basement.
Master V.
And I saw them turntables there, and it was just like a gravitational pull. It's just
Right.
oh, that I want to do this.
Right.
You know, and back then we didn't have a lot of money,
Right.
which I think kind of helped me as a DJ, because I didn't start off with the best equipment.
Right.
I think the first techniques that came out was 1800s.
Right.
And then 1200s came out later. It was something like that.
18's worth
Yeah, that came out first.
That's
We couldn't afford nothing like that.
Right.
We had
Same here.
some D1s,
Right.
Yeah,
which
that's
is direct drive turntables,
Right.
and you had to be heavy handed because you had to push it to get it to go on beat.
That's right.
You had
Right,
to.
right.
Right.
Then on the other hand, we had some B101s,
Okay,
which
right.
mean belt drive turntables.
Exactly. I
Which
remember
means you had to be light-handed with them, because they was like made of plastic, and if you was too heavy-handed, they would skip and be all over the place. So me having to be light-handed, it made DJing, it made it harder for me, but it helped me to be a better DJ because my skills were better.
Right.
Because I had to work on the cheap stuff.
Right.
Not knocking the crew for that. Because back then, like, I was a teenager. I didn't have no money.
Right.
Whatever the MCs bought for me, that's what I used.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Do you remember?
whatever they brought my way, I
That's right.
made the best of it.
Do you remember the first record you ever played, or the first record you ever cut?
It would be in the range of it was Disco Breaks. It was on the orange label. It was like Super Sperm and all that stuff.
Okay.
Captain Sky.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, man. And I actually still have these records.
Okay.
Wow,
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Right.
Man.
And also High Power, he's the one that could really answer the question that you asked, Rev, like as far as when it comes to Patterson. How 104 was formed, like the first people that came in the basement, because he gonna finish it up. 104 is like the hub of the hip hop scene in Patterson. And it wasn't nothing else popping but 104 Graham Ave.
Right.
A basement. So people used to come from Passaic,
Right.
from Clifton, from
Right.
Hackensack,
Right.
East, or everywhere,
Right.
and go to
To that.
104 Graham Ave.
Right.
104 Graham Ave was the fever.
Wow.
That's how
Okay.
big it was.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
So Crucializing came a little bit after Playboy. So High Power, tell us how it started in the basement.
Well, the way it started, we knew the owner of the house, and he had a son who wanted to join our group, but we didn't let him join because we just felt like his lifestyle didn't match our lifestyle. But his father let us play a couple times, and then he figured, oh, this may be something. So he allowed us to use his basement,
Right.
and it's like every weekend, every Friday and Saturday, we had a home base that we can play at, and like he said, in Patterson, the 104 Graham Ave was like our fever
Yes.
in New York.
At least about 200
right.
people in
Yeah,
there.
and it was like that every
Wow.
week.
Every
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Packed inside and outside.
Right.
No security.
No security.
Right.
Everybody just sitting there just having a good
Just
time.
having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, you know, once in a while you have the fist fights outside.
Yeah,
Right.
There was
yeah.
no
Well, that's
shooting,
Right.
stabbing, and all that
Right.
craziness. You know?
Right.
right.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
And the question you asked before, Rev, like, how was it growing up in Patterson? Me growing up as a child, Patterson was a wonderful place. It's like, I remember, all like black people owned everything. I'm talking about the barbershops.
Yes.
I'm talking about the laundromats.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
They
That's
owned
it.
everything. And I think what made me start rapping, like no one influenced me. There was no rapper out there really influenced me. What it was, growing up as a child, I had a lot of things locked inside of me. And so I used to write a lot. I used to write a lot of poetry.
Right.
And then when hip hop came on the scene, it's like that was a way of me
Yeah.
expressing those things that was locked inside of me.
True.
So when I had a mic in my hand and I was on a stage
Right.
and Rob dropped the beat that I was feeling, I felt free.
Right.
I really felt free.
Right.
These guys was hard on me. we used to practice for hours
Right.
in a little small room, not even a quarter the size of this.
Right.
So you got 3 grown men and me, and it's funky in there, and it's hot in there, and I just want to be done. But these guys, they wanted perfection.
Right.
Like I had to practice before school in the morning, when I got home from school, and at night before I went to bed.
Wow.
Because these guys, I couldn't miss a cut.
Right.
They would look at me and yell at me, and it got to be on point because when we perform,
That's right.
Exactly.
we don't want to hear the needle skip, this,
Right,
that, or
right,
you camouflage it or something. But you got to
You got to be on point.
You got to be on point. Absolutely.
Well, see, I don't mean to cut you off, but what I want to say is that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people really realize how much, you had to practice and how intense it was. Because when you came on that stage and you performed for people, bruh, people don't want to hear, oh, my man missed the cut. No, they just want to hear the finished product, man. They just want to hear, y'all do your thing.
They hear you do your thing.
Yeah,
And
respect.
an example of that was Love Rap. Now Love Rap was one of the nicest beat to go on.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Salute to Spoonie G, that's right.
Go off.
That's right.
Now, once you go off, that means the beat's supposed to be going.
Right.
Some DJs might slip up and put that from the north to the south while you rapping.
That's right.
Now you
That's
looking
right.
like, yo, what is
Yes,
you
what is
doing?
you doing?
Throwing you
You know?
off.
So,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true.
No doubt.
That was a perfection. Like,
Right.
all we want to hear is just an instrumental.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I didn't pick none of these records. We would go to Brad's record then, like you said.
Right.
And we'd be in there for hours. Because we go in the back of the room and the
Right.
dude would play beats for us.
Yes.
That's right.
Because
Yeah,
we were
same
like,
with us.
well, what you got new? We need some new beats
Right.
that other people don't have.
Right.
So you could take it to the left if you want.
Right.
And we
That's right.
be back there listening. And like the dude would play 15 different songs. Maybe these dudes pick 1 or 2 of those.
Right.
That's what would take so long because
Right.
it had to be certain
So
beats.
certain beats,
Exactly.
right. Because every rapper have something that they feel
Yes.
comfortable about. You know what I mean? And that's the
right.
one thing about Brad. You could be there all night, man, because he
Yeah.
had
Yeah, you
all the
could.
breaks.
Yeah.
He had
Right.
all the breaks.
And like we
Right,
said about, we talk about Brad's record game, but even before that, it was Downstairs Records. Downstairs Records was in a subway. Okay, it was a compartment in a subway. This is how deep hip hop had gone.
Right.
Okay, we gone down. It was down on 34th, right in the subway station. When you go to 34th in the subway station, and
Yep, it sure was.
the room was as big as probably your bedroom, maybe smaller. You can only get maybe 5 or 6 people in good.
Right.
And all the records were up on the wall. Okay, when you talk about 7 Minutes of Funk, I Can't Stop,
Right.
all these records that you might have heard from somebody else, or you might have said, well, oh, there's that record.
Right.
Or you walk in there and try to say the record from your mouth, and the guy behind the counter is standing there like, what is that? Or you come in with a tape. You got this record? Or you go win it, or something like that.
Right.
I mean, these guys really put work in.
Right.
Right. Brad will walk in and just want to know if you got money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I remember when we went there, he was like, "You got money?" He took you in the back. If you didn't have no money, you stayed up front.
Right.
But with Downstairs Records, I mean, you wanted what the cats in New York had.
Right.
Okay, however deep Bambaataa went or however deep Flash went, you wanted what they had. Okay, you said love rap and high power rap, all of that.
Right.
Okay, but we wanted those dirty beats. We wanted those dirty records. When our MCs got on, we wanted them dirty records. Okay.
Now in Patterson, y'all had a lot of venues.
Right.
You know what I mean? And y'all had a lot of crews. What were some of the crews, and what's some of the venues that y'all had over in Patterson?
Well, we had Trey Force, we had the Easy Boys. Come on, who else was
Well,
there?
I can give you spots, not really the crews. I mean, because we
Well,
played.
I know. I can name. I remember what's his name? Mixmaster Mike. He had a group called
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
Rock Crew.
We rock.
Yeah,
Right.
We Rock Crew.
Right.
Well, that's my bad because I called them Trey Force.
Okay.
But
That was afterwards.
right, they
Oh,
were
they originally-
right. They changed their name.
Oh,
They
okay.
changed the name.
Right, but Mismatch the Mike, right? That was his group.
Right. Yeah.
Then you had the Ultimate MCs. You
Right.
had,
Ultimate,
Okay.
that right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
with
made a
Jazzy J and
Right,
JG and
Okay.
I think we can.
DJ Cool D and
Right.
Cool
Okay.
C.
Cool.
They all on that flyer that I had.
okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and they from Pat. They even made a record too. The Ultimate.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them crews.
Yeah,
on
this is
there.
an old school flyer, man. Wow.
roller rink.
Oh, the rink in Patterson was
Yes.
no
Yeah.
joke, bro.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
John Amos.
Johnny.
That
Yeah.
is true.
And CCP Rec.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's
Which is still there.
Right there.
still there.
Still there. They still
Yeah,
having
that is
parties
the
there.
spot.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but
Right.
it's like a senior center.
Right.
But it's still
Okay,
there.
okay.
What about the CYO?
Right.
Father
right.
English.
See,
Father
right.
English.
We-
right.
Main Street. That's still, it's
Yes.
still there, right?
It's still when you come off
Yeah,
the
it's
highway,
still-
you looking
Yeah, it's
right
still
at
there.
it.
Yeah, the CYO.
I mean, we
Yeah.
seen many
Yeah.
of parties up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I remember us being in a few battles up
Yes.
in there.
That was a big
There
spot.
Yeah.
another spot too on West Broadway. That's where the second time that Rock Kim came there. Some place on
Yeah, I know
West
what he's
Broadway.
talking- Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
the name of it, but yeah, I know what he's talking about. I don't think it's there no more. I think it burned down or something like that. But
So-
yeah,
Oh, you mean the Lincoln Club?
The
Lincoln Club, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
where Checkers at.
Yes,
Right.
okay, you're right,
okay.
DC.
Right,
You're
right,
you're
right.
Right. So that is when, you know what I mean, one of my favorite rapper back then came through and, I found out later on that all the mishaps was because of him and one of my favorite rapper, Rakim.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he
Okay.
came and he rocked them. Before you
Okay.
know it, the whole joint is stuck up.
Wow.
I don't know if I can say that.
No.
Yo, it's all right. I mean, hey, come on, it's a free.
That was a
Come
long
on.
time ago.
That was a long
Yeah.
time ago. That's a long
But it's the
time
truth.
ago.
But I heard that
Yeah.
the thing was,
Yeah.
you come to the
That's
spot.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're giving a show, but you got other plans. Too,
Right,
you know?
right,
You all the
right,
gold
right.
chains.
That's
And
right.
Y'all remember those gold
Yeah,
links
yeah,
and
yeah. Oh, yeah.
stuff? What they used to call them, Rev? The big chains and stuff?
rope,
the
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 dookie
ropes,
chain.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
But I recall, I forgot exactly what spot it was, but I remember it was Grandmaster Flash.
That was at the ring.
That was at the ring.
That was at the
And Spoonie G.
Right.
yeah,
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 Spoonie G
yeah, that's the ring.
came on
Yeah,
first.
we opened
That's
for
the
them.
ring.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
opened
opened
up
for
for
them.
them.
Yeah, we
okay.
always
Okay.
open for them.
Oh, wow.
And, that was a big thing to us.
Yes,
We
yes.
was on stage with Grandmaster Flash.
Flash,
and
right.
everything.
Right.
We never been on stage with,
Right.
big New York.
Right,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Well, see, that was a good thing. And see, a lot of people, that's what the whole purpose of what we're trying to say is, with Laws Underground, that Jersey was
Right.
really doing their thing
That's
back
right.
there. Even
Yes,
though a
we
lot of
was.
people may not
Yes, we was.
Right.
give us the credit for it.
Right.
But we was doing our thing.
Right.
And like you said, to have a venue back in the day where you had 200 people up in there on a weekly basis.
That's right.
Right.
That's telling you, yo, Jersey was doing something, bro.
When they if you ever heard them say anything about Jersey, it was always, well, Jersey wasn't on the map.
Right.
Which is totally not true, and that's what we want to get out in the
right.
Lost Underground. That
Right.
okay, you talked about the Fever a little while ago, the Fever, Audubon, places like that.
Right.
Okay, you had that in New York, Ecstasy Garage and T Connect, all of that. Okay,
Right.
but when you cross that bridge and you come to either Hackensack, Teaneck,
Right.
you
Right.
come
That's
to
right.
Patterson,
Passaic.
Right.
Patterson, Passaic. There's venues, and
Right.
believe me, those New York rappers
Right.
cannot deny that they have come through.
Right.
They can't deny that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And one thing I didn't like about that situation, and I think it's still happening now, and I wish that they would change it. You got the Boogie Down Bronx. You got Brooklyn. Money making Mount Vernon.
Money earning Mount
Money,
Vernon,
yeah.
Money
But
making
we're
Mount-
Jersey.
Exactly.
We're not Hackensack,
Exactly.
Patterson,
Right.
right.
Passaic,
Right,
those
right,
rockin'
right,
stuff,
right,
Newark.
right.
Right.
No, we're Jersey. So
We're
why
Jersey.
do they call us Jersey, but they're Boogie Down Bronx?
Well, I guess we probably didn't really take time to really create it, but we did though.
We
Cause
did.
Because to
They
us,
didn't want to accept.
They didn't want to accept because we always said P-Town when we
Right.
were talking to Patterson.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
We always call Hackensack the Sack.
The
Right.
sack.
Jersey City was
Chill
Chilltown.
Town.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
so maybe they didn't acknowledge it,
No.
but we did amongst ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
And but you
But now the radio station is still doing it, right?
right.
They're still doing it.
Right.
They're still calling us Jersey.
Jersey.
Right,
That's
right,
true.
right.
That's true. But when we say that we put in that work, okay,
That's
you
right.
gentlemen sitting here right now, we put in that
right.
work.
That's
Now,
right.
last time the Rev had said, well, there were so many different venues for groups to go to if they
Right.
wanted to travel that we didn't have to cross the bridge if we didn't want to.
Right.
You know, if we didn't want to.
Right.
But the thing is, we were putting in some grimy work, just like they were putting in over there. You know, you were putting in work as a DJ. You guys
Right.
were putting in work as a MC. So were we.
Right.
We were putting in work. And whatever they were doing over there, that's fine. We seen it. We heard about it.
Right.
But we were putting in that work,
That's
part
right.
of this culture.
Right.
You know? And then they want to say, well, oh, you didn't, it didn't happen until Sugar Hill. No disrespect to that
we was doing
record.
it before.
But we were the ones that were on the street before
That's
that
right.
record hit the streets.
You're
Right.
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 Someone had to
Right.
do it.
You're right.
Right.
I mean, there's no denying this.
Absolutely.
And when I hear it, it goes through my skin because I'm like, we were on the street. They didn't want to touch us. Record companies and all that didn't want to touch us.
Right.
You know, but, you know, Vice Squad, Crusher Lives, and all these groups were putting in that foundation, putting in that groundwork, so someone would go and say, oh, I can make a record, Sugar Hill. Bam. But what happens to the guys that put the work in, that took a show and put work in?
Right.
Okay, that built this culture up so you saw it. What happens to them?
Right.
That's why we have this right now.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Love
Great
that.
thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I know one of my friends, good friends, was a good friend of yours, and I think he did some work with you, Easy E.
Yeah.
And later on he joined us, but I think he had did some work with you guys also.
Oh yeah, he was. Eric taught me how to DJ.
Wow.
Yeah, he.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he,
Yo, we got we got to
Yeah.
give we got to
I
give
didn't
a,
know that.
we got to give a hand.
Yeah,
Salute the Easy E.
Wow.
Salute the E.
I didn't know that, bro.
Wow,
yeah,
I mean,
and
he was no joke behind those tables when he got by there. Okay.
and he helped us out as a crew a lot because we
Right.
we used to do parties at this place called James Rec.
Okay,
Yeah,
I heard
I
Jay.
heard
Right?
about
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I said,
We forget about Jay.
we never had a lot of money. So
Right.
we made it happen with what we had. Junior owned the speakers.
Okay,
It was these 2 tower speakers.
right.
They might have had like 5 8-inch woofers in there, but that was the
Right.
top stuff
what it
back
was.
then.
Right.
And I would bring an amp.
Right.
Now the amp came from Eric. I used to have to get on the 704 and come over here, pick up the amp and bring it back for the party at night.
Wow.
Because you know he had an amp, or he
Right.
had more than one. He
Right,
would have
right.
his good one or his bad one.
Right.
The bad one was the one where you had to put the box fan on top of it
Oh,
to make
yes.
it last the whole
Yes,
night. But
yes.
Eric did a lot for us, and
Oh,
he was always down.
I have to put
he
this
was.
out there for Rev. We did a party. We were at a party and we were on our way to get on, and the DJ that we had froze up. He got scared. I don't know why. He was getting. We had him set to play for us. He gets scared. Rev snatched the records out of his hand, gave the records to Easy, and Easy got on and cut for us. So we were. I mean, it didn't
it was like Rev said, I'm not waiting for this. Snatched the records out the kid's hand and gave it.
That should have clicked in automatic. Just like
Easy was ready on point.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, yeah, he was a good brother and still is a good brother. But I'm saying he was the reason why we was able to go to Philly and rock down in Philly twice.
Wow.
Because he his cousin was good friends with Jazz Jeff.
Okay.
So we caught the train down in Philly one time and rocked. Right. And then the second time we took the whole crew. We just drove down there, a bunch of brothers, the whole breakout crew, but all the brothers from off the block came down too, man.
Right,
but they was
right.
cause of Easy, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was always a cool brother, always, looking out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was joking. Like I said, I spoke to him yesterday, and
Right.
he was joking because I remember in his house he had a fish tank with piranhas in there. And he used to feed them hot dogs and all types of meat. I was just joking with him about that because that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But he was a kind dude. He lent me whatever I want from him.
Right.
He would give it to me, no problem. He ain't asked for no money, no cut or nothing. He was there.
Cool. Now, this is what I want to ask you guys. What with all the crews that y'all had in Patterson, what was the thing that stood out about you guys? Like, what made y'all different than the other crews that was in Patterson?
Well, I think what it was, we were ahead of our times, especially
Lyrical.
I would say, right, lyrically, the MCs, like what most crews was rapping about, we wasn't rapping about that.
Okay.
Like what I mean is, and not putting all this on me, there was a rhymes that I used to say 30, 35 years ago that still apply today.
Right.
So we were so far ahead of our times.
Right.
And I think that's what set us apart from most of the other crews that were in Patterson.
Right.
We didn't think that we didn't look at them like they was trash.
Right.
But I think that there was a certain pride that we had that we may not even really knew it then.
Right.
But people used to always said that we were ahead of our time.
Right.
What we were saying, the way we dressed, like we put on a suit.
Right.
So I think that's what it was for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
anyway.
Cool. Yeah, because when you're doing it, you know what I mean, you just concentrating on what you doing. Right. You know what I mean? So you're not really looking at the other person or what they doing. And sometimes you don't really realize your effect on other people. You know what I mean? Like you say, like people come up to you and say, yo, you guys are ahead of your time. You're just doing your thing. You're just being creative. Sometimes you don't even realize how much you are, affecting others.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, tonight we got a very special group from Hackensack, New Jersey. This is a breakdancing group. Ready to rock group, ready to rock. And these brothers was doing their thing back in the day, and we're very honored to have them here this evening.
Absolutely.
So right now, we just want y'all to introduce yourself individually, and let us know what y'all did in the crew. Like, what was your job in the crew?
Like Buddha, I was a dancer. I tried to put the family together, with my cousins, and we hooked up with another crew from the outside. We put our thing together and became a Voltron crew, and we made it work.
All right.
Yeah, I'm Caesar, a.k.a. Petey. I used to do the windmills and all the floor stuff and top rocking and all that stuff back in the day, looking a little crazy, but I had fun at it. And we came together, like I said, me, Buddha, his cousin in the crew. We met up with Darren, Trevor over here on the side. We started getting it together, practicing our craft, going into the parks, going to Harlem, wherever we could do it and get it in, we got it in. We had fun battling crews, doing stuff. Overall, all the stuff we did, we had fun doing it.
Cool. Over here?
Yes, Trav. They call me L.A. Papa. I learned to pop out in L.A., right? And then I brought it over here to, I guess, in Hackensack. Brought it out here. I remember it was in the high school. I was battling somebody, one of the dudes named Flip. I was battling Flip, and then when I started battling Flip, crowd went crazy because they was like they had never seen my style of popping before. And then hooked up with Darren. We started Mr. Tick here, Slow Mo, and we just started getting it together. Got the crew, and then we just started try to hook up with Buddha, Petey, and we just made it happen, bro. We made it happen.
I'm Darren. My name was Pantomime. Our pop locking group popping was called the Cosmic Space Poppers. And like Trevor said, he came from L.A. We clicked right away. He's crazy. And he showed me moves from L.A., you know what I'm saying? And I caught on to it real quick, but I couldn't beat Trevor. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get my own niche.
Right.
So while Trevor was doing the fly shit that he was doing, I had to come with my own. So I created the slow motion tick. So if you see anybody doing that,
they owe you some money. They owe you some money.
Everybody owe me some money.
You even got Beyonce doing
All right,
that.
so y'all was two different groups that came together?
Yeah.
And then y'all became Ready to Rock.
And we became Ready to Rock.
Right. Now I heard you mention something about going to Harlem.
Yeah, we used to start off going to the parks because we was always looking at different styles and different moves. Also watching stuff on TV, like when we first saw Crazy Legs and them doing it on you know what I'm saying, on Rocksteady and stuff like that. That really threw some ideas to us. And then it started. Like I said, we set our house up like a little dance area where we would come together and practice hard. We was practicing hard. We were going late in the night sometimes, practicing outside. And then we hooked up also with a couple of brothers, Angel and them from Main Street in Hackensack.
Okay.
Remember that down there? That was all those Spanish brothers over there. And we would put the Linoleum out there in Main Street by Sears. And we out there in the street. Remember that? We was out there in the street on the Linoleum, people riding by in the car, looking at us, spinning, head spinning and everything, doing moves. And then we got more serious at it. We got more serious, and that's when we started going to what's that? The Roxy.
Yeah.
That's when we started going to Roxy, and that's when we started seeing crews. And I remember our first time going to the Roxy. Mind you, we young cats, I ain't supposed to be in the Roxy. We 15, 16, 17, going to the Roxy, and then we started seeing real battles in the Roxy down that. We didn't even get in at first. We had to watch. See, they getting it in. We knew we had to go back home and practice our craft. You know, and so I think the first time we felt we was really good, we had stuff together, is when y'all came and y'all threw that party in 2nd Street Park. And we came through and y'all said, we want to see what y'all got to do. Y'all set it up for us right on the tennis court out there. And the crowd went crazy. Hackensack went crazy for us. That's what we felt good about. All right, we got something going right here. And then that's when the invite from you came and said, all right, we're going to bring y'all to Patterson with us for the show. Darren, you know, come on, bitch. You know what's up with that show, bro.
The roller rink.
Okay.
Yeah, CCP Projects right down the street from there.
Right.
Hassan 7-Eleven, Sweet Slick and Slide, Breakout Brothers.
We did a show earlier.
We were in there 3, 4 in the morning. I think we were
Maybe later.
Later.
We got back to Hackensack. It was light.
All night thing.
Yeah, it was all night thing. It was all night thing.
We did a show with John Amos on the skating ring over there. And that's when New Edition came through. We met them as young cats, and they was young. We was there battling with them, and rest in peace to Mouse. You know, Mouse was with us, and he clicked with them because he was about their age, and they liked how Mouse moved. And they looked at us.
Mouse was another member of the group. And he was actually the youngest.
He was the youngest part of our crew. Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So what? As y'all was doing your thing, did you finish the story? I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you finish the story?
Well,
go ahead. You know.
Yeah. Well, the story, y'all left us alone. You know, we so that's we had to fend for ourselves. So we was the breakdance group, and we just sat around going inside the party, looking at the party, going backstage, looking at all these people that had hit records that night, like Hassan 7-Eleven. He had a hot record on the radio at that time, and it was just we was anxious to get on the stage.
Remember how we first met at the middle school? We was going against each other. The talent show. And we had the flashing light, and it was too dark for us. But we was real nice with it, and y'all came on your style, and we got together, and they beat us for the contest. They gave it to somebody really up off the map. And we said, we ain't gonna never have it to us again. We made a dream team.
Okay.
So we made a dream
Yeah.
team, and we locked it in so hard that they couldn't
Right.
even go at us.
Middle
So here's
school
the question.
talent
Was
shit.
it- Was it two different groups? It was two different
With
groups.
two
at the
different
time?
groups.
First, yeah.
And
Yeah,
had
we, me, Trevor, Sean, and Willie Thomas,
Yeah.
Sean Gill.
Tom, yeah.
We
Shout
were-
out to Willie Thomas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We was the pop group.
Right.
Did I think.
Right.
And they was the floor group.
Right.
Spinning windmills. Petey was crazy with the windmills.
Yeah, crazy.
Like
Yeah.
no hands,
I
nobody.
recall that.
Yeah, spinning on his windmills off his head. He didn't even show.
right.
He didn't even use his shoulders. Buddha one time windmill damn near off the stage at the rink. Remember? At the rink when
I called it, came back.
we got robbed though. We got robbed for that. We should have won that. The crew from Passaic beat us, but
we won that first week, and we had to come back.
Right.
And then we came back, and then we ended up winning again. We was like, our group was so versatile. Like even if it's like when we used to battle other groups, like if somebody came out and popped, then they know it was us. If they came out and they were breakdancing, then we know it was them. And then it was hard for anybody to really beat us. Yeah, because each individual had their own, and we had our unique style.
Right.
And we had if it was to the point that we know, okay, this person was good, or okay, let Petey or Buddha or Mouse here, they start doing their thing. They up rock, windmill.
And we have Rob Merritt too.
So they know, and if somebody came popping, then they know like we will come take over.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
question for all of y'all: when you finally got it together, did you think that would you say you were good enough to say when you saw Rocksteady, Bronx Rockers, people like that, you start saying like you said,
definitely.
Do you feel that y'all was good enough to compete?
we battled them.
We battled
We
them.
did battle.
We battled
at the
Mr.
Rocks.
Wade. Remember, we battled
Yeah.
Mr. Wade. We battled Normski. And I remember
They
all
respected
that.
us. They respected us. When they came out, they came and shook our hand, gave us hugs like, yo, y'all got it. Like y'all, we're different. We from Jersey. You know, New York always had the respect, and we took ours back. So we was the ones come out of there. So we had a show. Everybody else they come out and do a little performance or do a little of this, but we had the whole a whole real show. So you get the breaking, the popping, the lock, the slow motion, the LA tick. So they said we can't hit them with no angles. They couldn't hit it. And so we had every style. They said we can't hit. We had to come at them cats. So everybody went home and sharpened their knife to come back next week to get it in. Everybody was real sharp in their game.
Yeah, man. I remember us. This is a little late into when we was getting in. A lot of people knew who we was. And we go places we would go. They knew. Oh, y'all that's the breakdance crew, and knew as soon as they see our jackets and stuff, and knew that we were bringing it.
Right.
So they invited us to Bloomfield College. You remember that? They invited us to Bloomfield College to this big. It was the biggest breakdance battle in the area. And we had all of us was fitting in Trevor's car, one little car. We all fitting in. We all. Remember that?
It was all eight.
We all
eight,
going
none
in.
of us.
Wow.
We gets to the battle. We gets to the college late, bro. We the last group. They was about to shut it down. They was like, listen, we're about to shut it. Y'all the last group.
Right.
We already seen everybody.
Right.
And they said, all right, we're gonna give y'all a chance. We're gonna give y'all 5 minutes. Right. We went out there. I started doing my thing. Buddha doing his thing. Trevor doing his thing. And to them, I was like, oh, okay, we don't seen all that. We don't seen this and that. I did my windmills. I did this. And you can see the look on their face, like, okay, we don't seen about 100 groups do this.
Right.
Darren stole the show for us. Remember that? Darren came out at the end, started doing that tick. They never seen before. The crowd went crazy. Crazy.
Wow.
We
Darren
won.
Stamp
Right then and
did
there,
it.
was saying down.
Crazy.
Y'all got it. Y'all won. Y'all came late, but y'all won.
Wow.
And after that, they invited us to Harlem to do a video. We never saw the video. We went.
Right.
Filmed us all there. This video in the park.
That
Remember
young
that?
lady. Right.
Lady had us
Young
with
lady,
the
yeah,
cameras and all that. Never
Yeah.
seen the
About
video.
that.
We didn't know what happened to it, but we
Right.
won that contest. Went and did the video, and we never knew what happened with that. Y'all remember that?
Wow.
Came at the last and killed it.
Hey,
Yeah.
the same people that got with us, y'all remember?
Yeah.
We was at the Zanzibar with Tiny from Beach Street,
Yeah.
and he was the main attraction.
Tiny from B Street. I remember that.
And we
Yeah.
went on stage with him that night.
We had to do that play. We had to do the breakdance play.
Louis Johnson.
He was a breakdance coordinator,
Yeah.
a real fat guy. But I was like, how you know how to dance?
He said he worked with Michael Jackson back in the day. We was in Newark,
Right.
going out there, and we was dancing with the group and everything. But I still remember the song
that he had us singing. Don't let nobody stop your dreams. Don't let them turn you around. Life's best is best when reaching out. At least that's what I found. Y'all don't remember
That was
that?
a play. Yeah, it was a play.
Y'all was breakdancing to that?
It was a play.
It was a play.
It was a play.
Yeah, so we
Oh,
had
okay.
to act in the play.
Oh,
We had to
okay.
act and stuff.
Okay.
How many
Okay.
years we talking that when how many years we talking about?
25.
40?
This is amazing that you remember.
Probably more than that,
every
40.
word.
No, that's more like 30 years ago.
40.
30,
Remember,
right.
we was at
Like
the
that.
Alvin Ailey
Crazy.
Dance Studio in Newark before it became known. It's known now, but we was at the practicing for that show.
Wow.
Yeah.
We went every day. They would have us come through, give us
That's a
bus tickets,
fact.
come to Newark at the Alvin Ailey Dance Studio for that play alone. Remember that? And then they had made us go give our parents tickets and everything to come to the play and all that. Man. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow. Now, I know, Trevor, you originally was in California.
Yes, sir.
The rest of y'all was in Hackensack.
Yeah.
And y'all family.
Yeah.
So it was easy for y'all to connect. And y'all lived in one section of town.
Yeah.
What they call it, Sugar Hill?
Sugar Hill. We was on the hill. Yeah.
Right. And you live close to them?
Off Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill, downhill.
Oh, okay.
Uptown.
Okay.
Sugar Hill to get
So
where
now,
I live.
just tell me a little bit of what life was like in Hackensack at that time when y'all was coming up, when y'all came together to start doing this.
Oh wow, it was a little friction there. You know, it was an uptown and downtown thing, and even that time in the park, when we came through to the park with y'all, and we danced and everything, we still had some cats from down on Newman Street or whatever. We were all cool, but they, they felt we had a battle. We battled them every once in a while. I'm not gonna go start remember going with names because I don't remember everybody's names back then. I remember Barry. Because he was one of the ones.
Yeah.
And a couple other people, but it was a few battles we had, but we were more together with it, more solid as a crew. I think that's why we kind of
stood out.
Stood out a little more.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, it was cats coming from Newman and Railroad that was nice with theirs. But they wasn't clicked together like we were.
Okay, so y'all took the time
to put
to really
a routine
put
together.
Routines together. Y'all took the time to really practice. That's what made y'all stick.
We was versatile.
And to come with our
real versatile with that stuff. You know?
I remember the first time I seen Trev, I was like, man, where is this cat, man? 'Cause he had the hair and everything. And he was doing it. I was like, wow, man, where this brother from?
He was a rock star. He was a rock star.
Yeah, bro.
He came
rock star. First day of school, he came in. We sitting in Mr. Rothstein's class, science. Trevor comes in. He got a double-breasted shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's double-breasted like a suit, but it's a shirt. Shit was hard, though. I'm
Right,
looking, I'm
right.
like, oh, he ain't from out here. You know what I'm saying?
This ain't no Hackensack
And then he
cat.
had his hair. He had the curl in his hair,
Right.
but it came all the way past his ears.
Right.
So if he went like this,
It moved.
it
Right?
just moved. It was dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, Trevor was like, everybody's laughing at him. Look at this dude. And I was like, nah, man. Like, where you from? From L.A. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. All right. And he told us stories about where he came from.
Right.
Me and him clicked right away tight.
Right.
And Trevor was just like my best friend at the time. And when it came to routines,
Right. Oh, okay.
he was the one.
Trevor, did you get that from coming from L.A. or did you do it when you started?
I learned that out in L.A.
Okay.
And it was just like, and at that time, there was just so many different styles. Like, even if I was good over here in L.A., they had some people that was, when I tell you, they was nasty because that was their thing.
Right.
In L.A.
Right.
And I know I ended up catching my style from this dude. His name was Daryl. And he had a crazy style. And he came out of, I think it was Oakland. And we ended up doing like this little video together, right? Because he came to the school out in L.A. And then I just caught his style. And when I started catching his style, I was like, yo, this is the style that I want because he taught everybody up in the school. And I was just like, yo. So we ended up connecting. He ended up kind of teaching me his style. And then when I ended up leaving LA and coming over here, I adapted his style. It was just like a different thing from when you do the wave. It was, he said, you just do it different, and it was just like crazy. And he really knew how to like really get it in, you know. So
Trevor made us nice. Trevor did the wave, but he did routines with the wave. It wasn't just the wave. You had to bow, and then we wave it, go to the next man, then the next man. You know what I'm saying? And rotation, you know what I'm saying? So that came from Trevor, but Trevor came with the shoulder pop.
Yeah.
When that came, nobody was doing it. I was just like, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm at home throwing my shoulder out of place at night, trying to do what Trevor doing.
Right.
Trevor be pow, pow, pow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how you get your shoulder to do that, man?
Yeah.
But he showed me, eventually
Right.
showed me. But
Right.
Trevor had the routines and everything, and then we watched them.
Okay.
So,
Who's setting up the routines for y'all?
we
was doing more like floor stuff, like,
Right,
with the
right.
windmills and the top rock and the head spins and all that stuff. So the only moves we would do would be our first step, maybe top rock together, and then pass somebody and boom, get down and do something. And I get up, mouse, get down, do a head spin, boom, 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 get down. So, and that's how we kind of went with it. And then we clicked with them. We started putting everything together.
Yeah.
We had a whole show.
We had a whole show.
Also, you gotta remember what made us unique that we had was family. Like when you came to Sugar Hill, you was like you adopted 20 brothers. If Trevor came to my house, it was just see me, him, Mouse. It was just a whole clique. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
if he had a problem, we all had a problem. We love you. You come up there and was always love on our block. Like we had. At any given moment, we go on our block, go outside, it's 30 kids out there playing, whatever. Let's go play some ball, let's go play this. And we did like everything as a crew. So when he came from LA, he didn't really start missing it because he had brothers. He had a lot of brothers. He had, Darren, myself, and we see each other in school. And me and Darren was in medicine school, so that was my brother. Me and Darren stayed in trouble school.
And we got him in trouble.
We got him in trouble. He was a good kid. So we was in medicine school. So me and Darren running around the school being crazy, and we just had mad. And our block was our whole unit. You know what I'm saying? We used to throw the parties at Crime Club. We used to run down there to your parties. We had our whole block. We used to go 30 deep down in your joint. Some of us couldn't get in. We was too young, but we was coming 30 deep. But we all had that unity, and that's what made it click. It's like you playing with somebody that I know Darren's strengths and weaknesses, so I'm not going to outplay to his strength. I said, Darren got it from here. I know Pete going to take over this. I know Pete got my back on this one. So we got each other, so it was easy to play with them. We was the best. That's why we came as the best. It was also a good group, but we was also family.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Yeah. And remember, we got a whole lot more coming. Brand new episodes on the way. So stay tuned, baby. Stay tuned.
And make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and just keep tuning in.
Peace.